Let me ask you a question. What if your next idea, dream, or vision isn't just something you're supposed to create, but something you're meant to birth into this world? Something sacred, something alive, something that holds the frequency of who you've become. I just got off a call with one of my amazing clients. I'll keep her name private, but she is in a retainer with me where she gets one session with me every month. And sometimes we focus more on her business aspect, what she's going through, trying to build a small business, trying to become an entrepreneur for the first time. And it's something that hits close to home to me because I've been there and I'm still there. All of us, I think, can relate to this idea that we're meant to create something more. We're meant to give something to the world that we sometimes avoid and sometimes don't know how or what to do with. She's birthing a new project into this world. And it reminded me that our creativity isn't random. It's divine labor. It's what happens when we say yes to letting something move through us. Before we get into too much of the nitty gritty behind today's episode, I wanted to welcome you all and introduce myself quickly in case you're new here. My name is Aubrey Barr. I am a spiritual coach, intuitive coach, whatever you want to call me, I will answer to. I'm also a photographer. I'm also a massage therapist and an energy worker for the last 20 years. And this is a space that I have created in order to bring other women into, to encourage them to be their cheerleader, and to also give my spiritual input on things that are going on in the world. Sometimes we bring in astrology. Sometimes we talk a little bit more about human design. But if you are new here, welcome into this space. I'm really excited to have you here. And if you feel so called, please leave us a review. That way, our podcast will continue to be put out in front of people that have never heard of us and honestly need a space just like this one. The first thing that I really want to talk about that's going to help bring this whole creative process more into focus and more from a grounded energy space is that this is like a spiritual pregnancy. And I know that sounds bizarre. It's like, what is she talking about? Well, when we are in our feminine energy, we need to create something. Sometimes, it's crocheting a blanket, right? Sometimes it's using our camera, being a photographer and creating some kind of image that either relates to us or helps other people relate to the things going on in their world, right? Sometimes it's literally creating a baby, right? Some of us do that. Some of us can't do that as much as we would like to. So we create something else, but it is coming from a place of feminine energy, from wanting to share with the world this emotional side, this spiritual side, and bringing other people to that understanding of where you're at. So maybe sometimes someone like a mentor or a sister or coach needs to be the midwife for who calls it forward. And sometimes I feel like that is my job. In fact, just as a little side note, I put into ChatGPT what I was doing for this particular client and what our sessions ended up being, and it called me a soul midwife. So I'm like, well, that's relatable. I totally understand that, being someone who has been in the birth world too. I thought that it was very fitting. But I'm working with this client. We'll go ahead and call her Amber. And every month she meets with me. We've gone through so much in the last year and a half of working together. It's been absolutely incredible. And I just love where our conversations take us. I love that being an intuitive coach helps me to be able to help my clients wherever they need help. And for this particular client, as we broke down a lot of her limiting beliefs and a lot of the programming that she had around what she can accomplish and what she's allowed to accomplish in this world, we've gotten to a point where she is building a business based on personal connection. She's doing a lot of one-on-one work, and she really has this drive to help women connect their body with their spiritual side and being able to kind of process things and show up into the world. And all of these things that honestly, as you guys know, if you've been listening to my podcast, like that's where my motivations are as well. So it ties in perfectly with what we were working on. But she recently told me that she's had this idea sitting inside her for months and that she was just kind of like scared. She didn't want to share it with anyone. She didn't want to put it out in the world. And being her coach, it really had me thinking, like, in what ways can we bring this forward? And so I made her think about it like she's birthing a child. Like she has this idea that's inside of her, and that every day it's something that gets built on and it's something that grows. It grows in magnitude and it grows in strength. And with every phase in this process, it is becoming more and more that thing that she is finally able to share with others. The purpose of me sharing this experience with you guys today that I've been having with my client and helping her to birth this really incredible, amazing product for her clients is that we oftentimes will have a voice in our head that is saying, you can't do it. It's saying, you don't know enough about this topic. Who are you to share this with other people? Nobody's going to like it. They're going to judge you. There's so much going on subconsciously that is specifically attacking us and making it so we cannot share our ideas and our beliefs with the world. Okay, I want you guys to consider that your subconscious mind is really trying to keep you safe. It is trying to keep you in a tiny, tiny box. And you know what? You cannot be contained. That's the message, okay? It is safe for you to create something. It is not only safe, but beneficial to all of those around you to birth whatever it is into existence. So let's talk about what it really takes to birth something beautiful into the world, not from a place of hustle or force, which is very masculine, but from alignment, safety, and love, and honestly, a little bit of vulnerability, if we're being honest. First, the self-first creation. You are the vessel, not the machine. Creation isn't about performance. It's about permission. You can't serve others from depletion. You are the art, the message, and the frequency that everything flows through. So taking care of yourself is the strategy. When you put yourself first, you're not being selfish. You're protecting that channel. That's how I want you to look at it. Because true service starts with inner nourishment, your rest, your faith, your connection to God, your creative flow. That's where it starts from. This is how your energy stays magnetic and not manic. Okay? Because listen, you can't birth beauty from burnout. You have to water the garden before you hand anyone a flower that has bloomed. This self-first creation doesn't mean isolation. It means devotion to your own alignment. So you can create from overflow instead of obligation. Okay. And one caveat to this is obviously, I talk about it a lot, but when your nervous system feels safe, your soul has opportunity to speak. It has more freedom and more creativity coming to it. So I want you to really keep that in mind because some of you are operating from a place of nervous system dysregulation, and that is the opposite of where we want to be when we're creating something. Okay. Secondly, there's grounded energy. The nervous system is the soil. Okay. So that brings us into every creation needs roots before it can bloom. Grounded energy gives your ideas stability, consistency, and staying power. Without grounding, you end up chasing shiny ideas instead of cultivating sacred ones. Okay, so what does grounding look like? I'm sure some of you are asking. It looks like stillness. It's sometimes prayer. It's journaling. It's body work. The Reiki that I do, it's also being able to get into a meditative state when you need to being able to blocking out the noise if you need to. Okay. If you are in a situation where you want to teach other people, where you want to coach other people, you can do that through your own grounding, through your own embodiment. Okay. Your calm voice, your boundaries, your energetic, like ability to reach other people, that speaks more to people than pushing things, than trying to force ideas, right? And this is the feminine side. The feminine creates from her body, not just her mind. So when we can ground first, that helps us tap more into our feminine energy than the masculine, which oftentimes is a trauma response. Okay. Your nervous system is the soil your dreams grow in. If it's dry, if it's cracked, okay, nothing is going to come from that, right? But us as women, when we are grounded and we create things, they last. They last because they're not trying to escape lives, they're embodying them. So I tell my clients all the time, slow down so your spirit can catch up. Okay. It's definitely this busy, busy life style that we tap into. That is our masculine. That is the masculine sometimes overpowering the feminine. So that leads us into the feminine energy, flow, not force. That's what we're talking about. I guess I kind of jumped the gun a little bit on the last one, but we've been taught to grind, but God's timing is not a grind. I mean, I'm like laughing while I say that because we all know it's true, okay? That is not our timeline. It's more of a rhythm, right? Your feminine power isn't in pushing harder, it's in trusting deeper. Okay, when you can think about this creative idea or this project or whatever, something you want to even learn, when you're thinking on that and you're pondering on that, it should feel like freedom is on the other side of that. It should feel like I am so ready to birth this into the world. I just cannot wait to see what it becomes. I cannot wait to see who I can give it to, who it can touch. And that is a very feminine energy, okay? We don't need to force that. It becomes the alignment. It becomes a part of our everyday life, okay? Just think about masculine energy as it kind of builds structure, and that's great to have, okay? But the feminine energy breathes life into it. Okay. That's how I want you to think about it. For me personally, I have not created anything for several months. And I know some of you have been like, hey, what's going on, Aubrey? Because I used to create a program almost every month, but that is just the flow of things right now. I will tell you that I'm very much into doing things in the background right now. I am definitely got some episodes lined up. I've got some other things that I'm going to be releasing here in the next month. But I went through a stage of, you know what, I'm not going to push it. Yes, I'm expected to release another program. I'm expected to release something for, my clients and the people in my world, but I couldn't let that be my driving force because then it would not come from my heart. It would not be something that I birthed myself. It would be something that was pushed, something that is more structured, something that doesn't feel fully aligned. And I am not into that at all, as you can tell. So lastly, we're going to talk a little bit about service because creation is really about that service that we give to other people. Even if you're creating products that, warm someone up at night, I'm thinking about the blanket again. Your creations are a form of service. They are like sermons your soul came here to give. You don't have to be perfect, my friend. Please, you have to know that you do not have to be perfect. You just have to be real. You've got to be authentic to yourself. Okay. But what you create is not about ego. You don't have to worry about how someone gets that, like if it changes their lives, if there's any judgment there. It's about contributing to the world, right? The work is a ripple, right? It's just that little bit of ripple. If you are hesitant to putting that out because you're waiting for perfect, I can tell you perfect doesn't ever come. It's never perfect, right? But one act of creation that you put out in the world can shift a lot of lives. And I want you to know that, okay? When you create from authenticity, it awakens others to do the same. That is probably the biggest feedback I have gotten in my coaching career the past few years, as well as the podcast, is how much I've inspired other people to create. And you know what? I love that because I'll tell you one thing that I absolutely need in my life. I need people around me that are authentic. And when you are tapping into that and you're in that grounding energy, you create something that is truly unique. It's like absolutely one of a kind. It's not something everybody else creates. And that's like such a beautiful thing to see. I love seeing my clients do that. I love seeing my friends do that. In the end, we all win when people are creating from that place, from that grounded energy, from that feminine space. We are all better off that way. Going back to my client that I had an appointment with today, her project isn't just about her business. It's about her growth, becoming someone else's permission slip, right? That's what it's all about. So the person you become while you're birthing this project into the world is the ultimate prize. It's winning the lottery in so many ways. And that's what I want for you. So let me ask you a question. What's something that's been gestating in your heart for too long? And what's one thing you can do today to nurture that creative energy? Not force it, but nurture it. And if you haven't quite pinpoint that, but there's something there, let's do some journaling. Let's go for a walk in nature or connect with other supportive women in your world. That is such a great way to tap back into that grounding energy, back into that feminine side where something can be built. And I just want to encourage you to tap into that, maybe even more intentionally than you ever have, to see what is coming up for you. Because too many times we stuff it below and we continue on with life. And that is the opposite of what our intuition is telling us. So listen, I got to tell you, the world doesn't need more perfect plans. It needs more women willing to birth what's in their soul. So let yourself create, cry, breathe, release, and rise. Like, this is a rhythm. This is how we become that person we want to be. If you're craving this kind of community, a space to be seen, supported, and spiritually recharged, come hang out with us. That's what this is. Now, I will say in the past, I had an incredible membership group called We Are Magnetic Women. I ran it for a little over a year, absolutely loved it. But part of me knew that continuing on with it was not something that was right at the time. And so I had to take a break from it. And I'm really feeling, after taking 8-9 months off, I'm really feeling a pull towards being in that creative space again. And so don't be surprised if I do create another space just like that, because I am feeling a pull towards that again. And I love to listen in to my intuition when it tells me something like that. But in closing, I want to say, you guys, if you've been waiting for a sign to start something, like, this is it. Birth the thing. Trust the timing. Ground your energy. And remember, when you rise, you give others the blueprint for what's possible. And what a beautiful gift that is. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys because I really value authenticity. But, as I've been talking about this in this episode today, about birthing something beautiful into the world, I realize I'm so right there with you. I'm in that sacred space, like that in between where something new is forming inside me, taking shape, and I can feel God breathing life into it. It's tender, like, it's exciting too, but it's a little terrifying, but it's coming. And I want you right there with me when it does. So if you've been resonating with this journey, if you've been feeling that tug in your own spirit to rise, to create, to live a little more boldly, make sure you're on my email list. That's where I'll share what's being born behind the scenes and the invitations for you to be a part of it. You'll find the link in the show notes or on my website. Just come join, though. Come join this circle. And before I close, I want to just say thank you. Whether you've been here since episode 1, like a long time ago, or you just stumbled into this space, you are a part of this sisterhood. Every time you listen, every time you share an episode, every time you whisper a little yes under your breath, you are helping me birth this vision into the world. I don't take that lightly. I really don't. I love you. I cherish you. And I'm so, so grateful to walk this path beside you. Something beautiful is on the way, and I can't wait to share it with you. I hope you guys have a beautiful week, and we'll talk soon.